We're talking Riverside boys track here in the Mendola show at our Carol and Jadell, the Takeaway Kitchen. Jared Godlewski is with us, the head coach. And Coach, let's talk about some of the talent that you have on this year's team. Take us through some of the sprinters that you have.
I have Tyler Carey that's qualified for districts already, along with Austin Coles and Tommy from Old Forge.
And as far as some of the mid-distance guys or some distance guys, so it doesn't matter if you want to group them together.
Really, it's Gavin Beck that leads our way, but we have some good underclassmen coming up with Josh Godlewski, Carl Walsh. We have a senior that kind of helps out on the team, Frank Janelle. So our biggest thing is we got numbers this year.
And then how about over in the throwing event?
Throwing events is led by Colin Canese, Dan Nenish, and Justin Teig.
Let's talk about the possibilities for you guys. We're just a couple of weeks away from districts. You have some guys that you think might be able to fight for some medals this year?
I actually do. We brought a bunch of guys today with us to speak to you, and they're already qualified for districts, but we also have some other guys too that are going to show up.
As far as the competition in the league, talk a little bit about going against other teams. Obviously, you're probably smaller than most teams in the small school division, but these kids probably want to just get out and compete.
Yes, like I said earlier, I mean, we really got numbers this year from years in the past, so it makes it easier even as coaching and as athletes that you don't have to try to be in 4 different events at each meet. You can focus on your key events.
All right, Coach, great to talk to you. We'll catch up with some of the kids.
Okay, thank you.
Michael Kazmierzak is with us from Riverside. He's a freshman. He's a hurdler. Michael, talk a little bit about what track and field's been like so far in 2019.
It's been pretty good. I've set a lot of records for myself and mostly on the team.
As far as getting the hurdles down, talk about learning the steps and just trying to work on that, whether it's the 100 hurdles or the 300 hurdles.
It's a lot of form. It's less running than it's form. You just have to get that down, then you're good.
You play football, basketball, soccer. You've done a bunch of sports. Talk about a favorite sport you've had, and now we'll add track and field to it.
Probably basketball. I've always liked the sport since I was a little kid.
Got an older brother, Cole, 22. Talk about your relationship with him, and was he into athletics, or how much did you look up to him?
He played center when he was in football his whole entire life, and he owns a business with my dad now.
Very cool. You're pretty darn good in the classroom, a 4.0, 7th in your class, physical science, one of your favorite subjects. Talk about being a student and dedicating yourself in the classroom.
Yeah, you always have to go with the books over the sports first. It's the one that's going to get you the furthest in life.
Let's talk about life after high school. You're thinking about college, or you thinking maybe a business mind yet with your brother and your dad, or you're not real sure yet?
Probably something medical or something related to that.
Talk about the mom and dad as your role models, your relationship with them, and what they do to try to inspire you.
They've always congratulated me on everything that I do, and they're always behind me to support me in whatever I do.
Small team at Riverside with track and field, but talk about some of the positives and working with your coaches or working with some of your classmates to try to get better.
We might not have a big school, but we do have a lot of heart, and we're just trying to do the best that we possibly can with the people that we have.
All right, Michael, great to catch up with you. We wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Bryce Collins with us from Riverside here on the Mendola show. We're talking track and field. He's a junior. Bryce, let's talk a little bit about how track and field's going so far in 2019.
Very good so far. I haven't lost yet. I got in first place every meet. Jumped 6'2", school record, and looking to get 6'4" this season. I set that goal from last year, so I'm hoping I'm able to do it.
High jump is such a challenging event. One day you could do 5'8", another day you could do 6'2". It's such a difference. Talk about knowing those differences as a student athlete and just trying to do your best to be consistent.
Yeah, I like to prepare at least 2 days before, getting a good night's rest, 2 nights, and then the night before, of course. And good 8 to 9 hours of sleep, and then getting a good breakfast in the morning, and then I get a grilled chicken salad every lunch that day of the meet. So this worked out, and I so far haven't missed over 6 foot.
You also do the long jump and the triple jump. Talk about those particular events, and it may not be your favorite, but still trying to get some points for your team, or just trying to get better and be a well-rounded athlete with track and field.
I'm really fast and I know how to jump, so it was kind of just a little natural, and I've been getting 2nd and 3rd place, getting points for the team, so it was kind of worth it, and I'm jumping pretty far, so maybe I might take it up a little more.
I'm sure at some point here somebody's looking, a kid from Riverside, probably looked at as an underdog, even though you guys have some good athletes and you have a small track and field team. So does that motivate you at all, thinking that, hey, nobody's probably watching me, that they're thinking some other kid's going to win it when you get to districts and stuff like that, but in your heart you're probably feeling like, hey man, I got this, I'm doing well?
Yeah, last year I only jumped 5'6", 5'8". I don't think anybody was expecting me to do good this year. A lot of kids going into it. Some even said they weren't scared, and I beat them. So, I mean, I just keep my confidence up and hopefully put theirs down.
All right. You got a couple siblings, Lacey and Ryan, both older. Talk about your relationship with them and what they're up to.
Yeah, well, my sister's going to be going to medical school. She just graduated from Robert Morris University in Pittsburgh. She's going to obviously go really far. She's a hard worker in not only sports, but academics is like crazy. And my brother, he has a wife, 2 kids, and he has a great job, and he's doing great.
Awesome to hear. 3.7 grade point average. You're 40th in your class. You like science. You want to continue the sports and go to college down the road. You have an idea yet on what you may want to study, or you're still wide open with that?
Exercise science, kinesiology. I really am interested in that.
Well, let's talk about any role models in your life that inspire you and help you, want a little bit more out of life.
Oh yeah, my dad's a big help. He really, I mean, he goes through so much for me. So does my mom. They do so much for me. And having my track teammates by my side all the time, building a relationship with them outside of track also really helps me enjoy the sport more, and it really motivates me to do better.
Bryce, great to catch up with you, and keep jumping higher. Go for that 6'4".
All right, thank you.